be live. We should be live. Let's see what happens on the other side here. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Hang with me. We have a unconventional setup here, and it looks all right. I see and hear myself. I'll be in the chat room, everybody. While I wait for YouTube to send out notifications, we're going to do a little reminiscing today. Welcome. Happy Valentine's Day, all you losers. You didn't have anybody or anything better to do than sit here with me. Outstanding. I thought I was going to be alone. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Hang in there. We're going to listen to a tune here that comes from my first years of awakening. Two men that I just highly respected. Their music grabbed me. Now, there are two songs. One's going to correlate to some of the things I want to talk to you about tonight, but that wasn't the first song I heard from them. And the first song I heard from them was just feel good energy. And I just knew that these are some real cats here, some real motherfuckers. So we're going to start out this song 14 years ago. 14 years ago. Marcus Love and Rogers Charles, rap music. And then we'll get into it as soon as the song starts. Much love to them both.
You already know.
Start playing that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, dog. Like rap music is it. Like I'm tired of being poor. It's gotta be it. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta be it, man. I'm saying, man, won't you play something and shit? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Warm me up, man.
Warm me up, man. Remember why I do this.
Yeah. My name is Marcus Love, and I'd like to be the first to introduce you to something new. We like to call it rap music. Got my boy Rogers Charles, and we're gonna give it to you like this. Fresh. Get 'em. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, GG.
Yeah.
Hello, Karen. Thanks for coming by, guys.
I'm a street nigga, truly. Rap ain't a hobby, it's my duty to shed light.
Wow.
Maybe God the lost to what's right, but
I didn't think
sometimes
this would go out
distracted
to
by what's
anybody.
right and lose sight of my purpose. The reason I rap, to bring together people, let knowledge feed you. We all equal. Remember, the hood, the devil's teacher. We need to learn cause the world evil. Gotta survive and it call to the heavens and hope that God
No,
lead
there
you.
isn't alcohol in
The
here.
shadow of death, crooks and scams, thieves, niggas that'll blam, and take what you work for, reservoir dogs. But them dogs ain't a wolf, better watch them or your life took. You can see them slobbing at the mouth waiting, don't slip, they can smell shook. In this land where the blind kill the wise vision, I'm still optimistic, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't love that sax, let's get the fuck out of here now. Please. Come home, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Why I rap to reach. My mission is to revive that lost art when niggas used to speak, but not that boring shit. Everybody on your feet. This is a celebration. Hip hop 40 years deep. I carry on tradition. Lyrics I lace with wisdom, but let me slow down a little bit so you can feel them. Your homeboys, I don't feel them. I'm the best in my state, hungry enough to chew on to my jaw break. You niggas fake, but this verse ain't. We all bonded by rap. Whether you snap fingers or bob to the track, white or black. Music America soundtrack. Fact, the world fillers, they rapping in Japan. Nobody can kick that shit like we can. We can't overcome obstacles. Music is the launching pad. Need money to show you what I'm. Yeah. 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 Rap music.
Man, that sax got me way back down and it gets me now. Much love. Marcus Love, Rogers Charles. Fun fact, these guys and their mamas and their family, obviously they're black and I'm not. Didn't matter to none of us. They joined me in a live show. We were there for hours. I mean, it was just, we had so much hope, man. We had so much hope. We had the power of the internet. We had the power of our art. We had the power of our independence. And we were all coming together. We were dropping the bullshit and we failed. We failed. Haven't reached our goals. But we're not dead yet. As I said, I've lost touch with Marcus and Rogers. I don't know what they're doing, but that song, and I will always honor them, even if I never run into them again. I will always remember that live show and the hope that we had. And I'll tell you that over the last couple of years, for me as an activist, that hope just, the goal was in 2008, 10, whenever it was, that I woke up and that anger welled up because I realized that you're doing this to my kids and no, the fuck you're not. You can't do that. Even at, mid 30s, it wasn't my planet anymore. It was the life I brought into this world. 3 beautiful boys, single father, and I'm like a mother bear, man. I can't sit idle. Yeah, we got to pay the rent. Yeah, we got to do this and that, but we've got to fix these things. And so anyway, the last few years I've backed off. I killed the online persona I had at that time because I was done. I wasn't going to waste any more time saving people that really didn't give a fuck. They must not give a fuck because we all yelled and screamed and networked and more than a decade gone by, and here we are, in my opinion, at the edge of economic and social collapse. But recently, well, I guess I fought with the idea of not doing anything. So the online persona, master of many things, it was killed. And I won't bring that back because although I know me, I'm humble. It sounds hypocritical. And people would say that, and then I would have to explain why I chose that. And that's an era dead and gone. We're starting again now. And the channel was going to be just focused on the beautiful, happy things, traveling. Wasn't going to have any controversy at all. Well, I took an oath, all enemies, foreign and domestic. I didn't serve for a long time. There is a video on my channel if you want to know more about my history in the military. It's a warning before you join the military. Feel free after the show, go check that out. I'm not going to go through it all now. But I meant that, irrelevant of what happened with the government and all enemies. I'm old school anyway. I think you protect your village. I think you protect the ladies. I think you protect the children. And so it wasn't a stretch to say, yeah, I'm going to protect the whole country. That's cool with me. I'll do what I can, man. And I'm good with the gun, and I know how to blow shit up now, thanks to the military. And the only thing is, through all my years of research and all this time, I find that the only enemies I can recognize and recognize repeatedly are all domestic. They're all wearing suits and ties, except for on the occasion when they take their clothes off to molest our children. I mean, anyway, I want to start now with some comparisons because my goal here is to, in a sense, be an elder. A lot of the information that I looked up over the last decade and a half isn't even available on the internet now. And that's disturbing. And now we have AI, and I see everybody fighting about the you know, the files there. And I'm sorry, I hate that. If I run across one of those people, they might not live after encountering me, but do you really think that any of the information that they do give you is the exact truth? They've been sitting on it for president after president. And if you think, oh, it's Biden's fault, or you think it's Trump's fault, then you got a lot of work to do. Because this two-party system, it's just, look at we're fighting each other in the streets, people. I've been watching some of the protests out in Oregon and other places for months. Minneapolis, all good people fighting for what they believe, killing each other. And the bottom line to me is, after 250 years of this system where every 4 years we choose another leader, and it's gotten us to the place that we're fighting amongst ourselves, pepper spraying each other, threatening each other, beating each other up, doxing each other's family, terrorizing each other. It didn't work. It's an absolute failure. So I want to give you some more facts, because to say that sounds like lunacy to a lot of people. Oh, you're just a radical. You hate America. I don't hate this land. I don't hate any people. That's the point. I hate corrupt governments. I hate paperwork controlling every aspect of my life and authorizing things that will kill me. And more importantly, my children. Now, I have 5 grandbabies. 5 grandbabies. My oldest son brought me my first grandchild, Everly Rose. He has another daughter, Nevaeh, and a young son, Noah Michael. Haven't met Noah and Nevaeh yet, hopefully this year. Everly I saw, I think, when she was 1.5, so it's been like 3 years, something. She's in preschool now. My youngest son brought me my first grandson, and most recently, beautiful baby girl. Beautiful baby girl. She just, you know, everybody thinks their grandchildren are beautiful, but somehow Isaac's youngest daughter is just, the pictures already. I mean, that's queen status, that's model status, and Everly is too. I mean, they all are, but just there's something a little bit extra special as far as the physical beauty of my youngest granddaughter, and so for them, I still fight. My kids don't have time to. They have to take care of the day-to-day for those babies, and they do that very well. I'm very proud of my kids. My middle son is playing the role of a stepfather for a young boy who really needed, and Joseph, that's his nature. He's always looked out for the underling. He brought home the bugs and the animals that had been harmed, and he would try to nurse them back to life, and he just, anyway, let's get to some more facts. And I just want you guys to add up these facts, and you tell me. You tell me what we should do next. Okay, let's talk house prices. Medium homes, we're referring 1970. That's when I was born. Back then, median home prices, 23,400 to 23,900. So only a difference of $500 if you wanted to get something up a little upscale, right? Average home value, listen to this, 17,000 to 17,500. Again, even if you were a lower class, maybe, if that's even the right word, I hate using it, but doesn't seem like a lot of money now, does it? You can't really get a decent car for that price. Current home price, you ready? $513,000 to $515,000. Median home price $410,000 to $446,000. That's about where we are here in New Hampshire, folks. That's 20 times, more than 20 times in some cases. 20 times. And now the banks and even Trump, I think, right, promoting this idea of a 50-year mortgage. Yeah, you know why? Because my kids can't afford to buy a home. Their kids will not be able, maybe my kids will, if by 30 they can get a 50-year loan. And then I wonder, how long are they going to live with all the stress of paying for this home for 50 years? And then they get sick and hurt and out of work and they can't make the mortgage. Now it's getting repossessed and they worked all their fucking life and have nothing left to leave their kids. That's going on right now. And for 250 years, we had a red team, then we had a blue team, and we went back to the red team, and we bounced back and forth like a fucking ping pong ball, getting smashed on either side. And still I hear way too many Americans talking about what their political party can do for me. Nonsense. Let's go on to some other important costs that we think about regularly. Gas prices. Gas prices in the 70s. Average price of regular gasoline was approximately 36 cents per gallon. Yeah. They remained stable until the energy surge crisis in 73 and 74. Average cost rose after 74. Went up to, what does it say here, 50 cents a gallon. That was even a big jump back then. And they've just gone up. So, let's see, 36 cents. Yeah, some of you got it for $2. Most people probably are paying somewhere between 3 and 4. It sounds like a 10 times factor, rough numbers to me. 10 times. So 20 times as much to buy a home, 10 times as much for the fuel. How about food? Got to eat. 1970, average weekly grocery costs for a family were roughly $25 to $40. Most individuals spend more than that now each day for themselves. Equivalent to $165 to $265 in 2024 dollars. So if yeah, according to the value of the money, you get it, right? I don't need to explain that. Milk roughly $1.17, eggs 45 to 61 cents a dozen. They're about that price each now, or maybe 25 cents is more fair, but more than double. Milk $1.17, we said that. Eggs, ground hamburger 62 cents a pound. How much is burger costing you now? I don't know. I haven't bought any in quite a while. Sugar 62 cents for 5 pounds. That's at least a couple bucks, probably 3 by now. Okay, now let's move on. How much were people getting paid in the 70s? 1970, the median annual income for families in the United States was approximately $9,870. Folks, that's only a third of the, you made a third of the cost of a home in a year. Are you making a third of a cost of the home now? You better be making more than $150,000 a year. Are most Americans able to do that? One person. Because in 1970, only Dad worked. Yeah, he did. I don't know if any of you remember, but I sure as fuck do. I do. Okay. Let's pause for a minute. Let's pause for a minute. We've hit those heavy facts. And let's lighten up with the second song from Marcus Love and Rogers Charles. This is the one I told you at the beginning of the video was more relevant to the things I was talking about. And this is it. This is called Occupy.
Pro flow separate me from a million rappers. Mad skills, the reason not trapping. I'm part of the truth, so there's no way I could be acting. I'm from the hood, but I want to see the world happen. Reach masses, no matter what your social class is. The human condition we sharing, all God fearing. We bleed red, all want the best for our children. We are the same, though our languages may be different. I am the people, not government. I share wisdom, and I don't hate you because you Muslim and not Christian. And Mexican people, I don't agree with your eviction. This is America, where immigration make the difference. Our great cities built by slaves. The Irish man built New York, the Jewish invade. Chinatown, every city, every state. A melting pot of freedom will make this country great. Our fate lies with the Senate, reason we not winning. Our Congress is corrupt, bought by the highest bidder. The president is trapped, I don't blame you. Economy was bound to fall, Bush the big spender. You did what you can, could do more for black men. Like give a felon a chance, but really watch his hands go straight. Rehabilitation, meaning you learn from your mistakes. Support opportunity, real chance is all it takes. Wait, we no longer will. Watch you shoot the youth to kill. With your giant debt trying to leave us to build. We don't support your wars. You politicians is old over the hill and don't reflect the new young ideas. How we see the world, what we think freedom is. We won't change, but won't get it through these politics. I want the streets to listen, but can't get them off that money. More important thing, but to my people seem irrelevant. As the world crumble around us, we drowning in our own silence. American to slash the most violent, wildin'. Hope we get a grip though, unite close, find a real issue we can stand for, occupy.
All right, all right. You gotta love that sax. I'll say it again. If you can't get down with that saxophone, get out of my chat room. You got no soul. Anyway, let me throw the spectacles back on. These are my broken glasses, guys, that I leave down here in my off-grid abode. My good ones are in the car, so don't make fun of me for the tape, but I want to make sure we get shout-outs. Gigi's in the chat room. Thanks for stopping by. A local friend. Love it. Karen Vega, thank you for stopping by. Eden, thank you. Bach Precision, folks, in the chat, Bach Precision channel. Go follow my friend Bach, Canadian resident who is Muslim. He's covering a lot of this protest in the Pacific Northwest, and he delves into a lot of other esoteric topics and stuff like that, and he shares knowledge of his religion, which is, we're going to roll into that topic. Let me just finish shout out. Sean Meister, for stopping by, buddy. I appreciate your support. You've been around a long time. CHR1234, shout out, much love, thank you. Share the stream, folks. I am trying to build this channel, which I don't believe will ever be monetized. So if anybody wants to support my efforts, there are links below. I would really appreciate it, because I'm up against a situation that, anyway, Muslims. Our nemesis are always handed to us, right? And that is one of the nemesis. Now, I didn't know a lot about the Muslim culture other than the Muslims that I've interacted with, which is probably only a couple of dozen in my lifetime, have always treated me so great. So good people, hardworking. I don't know what the problem is. Supposedly, they take a long time to, put their plan, but they're coming to get us. They're going to kill us. Well, a couple of facts I want you to consider. So, Muslims have been here longer than pilgrims. Anything I say, you can Google, you call me out if I lied to you. I'm not known as a liar, and I don't give a fuck about your feelings, okay? The things you believe stir your emotions, none of that matters. Sorry about your bad luck. You don't like what I had to say. I'm not going to lie to you. We'll leave it at that. Thomas Jefferson, founding father, right? All you patriots out there. We'll talk about the definition of patriot in a minute. But all you patriots, boasting the founding fathers, you do the same goddamn thing with the Bible. You pick and choose what pieces you want to use to spin your narrative. Thomas Jefferson didn't know. He studied the Quran and he said clearly that the Islam religion is compatible with what the founding fathers saw for this country. Those are facts. Look it up. Stop demonizing people. Nobody's coming to get you. They already have you. They are men in suits. And most of them don't live in this country. The ones that are kicking you around are controlled by those. Rothschild. And this will be a rough translation of what he said. Permit me to issue the currency, and I care not what laws are made. But there always has to be an enemy. There always, right? Now, if the Muslims were coming to get us, and did they just find that out? Because especially like in the car boom, Ford Muslims were coming here to work on the cars. They didn't know then. They'd been here for a couple hundred years or 150 years. They hadn't hurt anybody. They were making the cars. More of them came. Diligent workers. Why are they taking so long to come get me? And why did Donald Trump, during his first presidency and now, well, I know during his first presidency, sold Saudi Arabia a lot of weapons. I'm not sure about this term, but I think we all know that he's had close interaction with Saudi Arabia. That's a Muslim nation, people. Okay. Now, I know the narrative wants to tell you that Sharia law is taken over, abusive to women, and all those things. I haven't lived in that. I haven't experienced that. But what I think is that if that is happening here in the United States and the women in that culture don't like it, they are surrounded by people that will protect them and agencies to help them get out of that lifestyle. If it's happening in another country, I'm sorry about your bad luck, but right now I have to fix my country. So it's quite irrelevant. I can't speak on it more than that. I haven't lived it, haven't seen it, don't know about it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. The other nemesis we're supposed to look out for now. Right, we got a ton of them. Trans people, they're coming to get you. Antifa's coming to get you. Now, are those Antifa and the radical trans people, are they good for our society? Absolutely not. Do you really think they're going to take over? And if you do think that, then you better get off your ass and do something about it. Too many people sitting around. I just can't, man. This stuff is all exhausting, but I can't sit idle. I can't sit idle. And I see our country collapsing. I want to go now through, because, our country's collapsing. Again, that sounds hyperbolic, doesn't it? So let's read a little bit. Now, this would be an AI spit out. So maybe some points could be argued, but I don't think there's much reason to argue about it. I asked AI the reasons that empires collapse. Because we are an empire, all right, with all these military bases spread all over the world and all these territories that we own. That's not a country. That's an empire. Okay? It is. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you believe. That's what it is. AI says, Google AI, whatever that is. I'm not paying for this shit. While it's impossible to give an exact number, constant, relentless warfare is one of the most common drivers of societal collapse in human history. Has that been taking place? Is that still taking place? I know some of you are going to say, but Trump ended 8 wars. 8 wars we were never told about until after they were solved. I'm not buying that either. You didn't stop anything. You're perpetuating 2 of them. That's what's happened. Okay, and then you can Google that up if you want to know more. The Mayas, they list, being a great empire, Western Roman Empire, uh, Bronze Age collapse, same thing, constant war. Aztecs, the Khmer Empire, know nothing about it. That was the 15th century. And then it says, why constant war leads to collapse. Warfare creates a negative feedback loop that often destroys complex societies. We are the most complex society. We incorporate some of the entire world. We have a great responsibility here, people. We have a great responsibility. And we created that responsibility. And now we're not taking responsibility for that responsibility. Not. We can't just blame this on the men in suits. We haven't held them accountable. Okay, economic exhaustion. Constant war is incredibly expensive, leading to high taxes, inflation, and the diversion of resources away from productive sectors, such as agriculture and trade. You going to tell me that didn't happen? Isn't it happening? We have been at constant war, and we do see those things collapsing. Economic exhaustion. Manpower shortages. You hear it constantly, been hearing it for years. Having a hard time getting people to join the military. Good for them. Good for them. Yeah, let's see what it says about that. The loss of productive labor to the army or the death toll of war leads to smaller workforce. Loss of internal cohesion. That means we're divided, people. We're more divided than I have ever seen in my entire life. When a government cannot protect the citizens, and evidently they can't because we always have somebody coming to get us. You can't make this shit up, but you can because they did. When it can't protect its citizens and only demands more resources for war, population often stops supporting the state. I'm okay with supporting the state, the federal government. Inability to adapt. The society constantly fighting cannot adjust to other stresses like climate change, famine, or disease. Let me say that again. A society constantly fighting cannot adjust to other stressors like climate change, famine, or disease. How did we adjust to COVID? What did that do to us? We're still feeling the effects of it. The full effects of COVID and the shutdown are not known. The side effects from any of the vaccines aren't fully known. But it kept us in those feedback loops, those echo chambers that we found on X, Facebook, all social media. All social media. And then we started believing things because that's all we heard. We didn't step outside of our comfort zone. We didn't listen to people that oppose our views. We didn't look for new ideas. I'm talking the majority. Some of you have, and you're in the chat room now. Thank you for that. Continue to do that. Spread that message. Okay. Let's wrap that section up. Rather than a specific number, history shows that whenever a society pivots its entire economy and social structure towards relentless conflict, it invariably sets itself on a path towards, at a minimum, a severe transformation or at maximum, a total collapse. In my opinion, we're in that transformation right now, and we are headed for collapse. Every time the economy starts to stall, they take you to war. Could be happening right now. Trump shutting down all the numbers. We don't really know what's going on with the numbers, employment, all this, because some of the agencies are shut down. Government employees were laid off, which thinning down the federal government may be a good thing, but some of the things that were cut out are going to hurt us in the long run. And so that's just a whole fucking mess. That's just a whole mess. So yeah, we got to do something. Okay, another thing I wanted to touch on tonight with you guys is, and this is another nemesis. This is kind of more a general nemesis. I see on the right the idea that the great replacement theory. They're watering down the white blood, and there ain't going to be any of us left. The brown people are taking over. They breed faster than us. Blah, 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 blah. But we've only heard that in the last several years, right? Really being pushed. It's really being pushed now. Another way to demonize people, in my opinion. Okay, so we're going to look at the numbers and see if this problem is all of a sudden or it's what life does here on Earth, right? Because I think we know over millennia, life forms change. Anyone's a fool that thinks they can control that, predict that, stop that, interfere with that. No good's going to come of that. No good's going to come of it. Anyway, according to the U.S. Census in 70, the vast majority of the population was classified as white. However, the exact percentage depends on the specific definition. White, approximately 87.5 to 88% of the population identified as white. Now, in the world, developed nations in 1970, about 30% of the world's population was white. So, what are we doing now, you might say? In the United States, approximately 57.5% to 59% of the population identifies as white alone, not Hispanic or Latino, according to 2024-2025 census estimates. When including those who identify as white in combination with other races, this figure rises to about 71 to 72%. And globally, estimates for the white population are less precise, with some reports suggesting they represent roughly 10% or 15%. So, yeah, there are less white people here. But is that because somebody is intentionally trying to eliminate the white race? It's stupid to think that, because the people that actually control this country, the richest people on this planet, are white, but they are trying to replace all the white people. And if they were that scared about it, so there would only be their class of white people, then their children would have to sleep with brown people or inbreed. It doesn't add up. Avoid these people. Human beings have sex with all kind of people. Some people don't care about skin color. I don't. Many don't. Some do. Well, they have a right to be that way. I'm not opposed to any group of people saying, hey, we want to secure our heritage and keep our blood clean. We don't want to change our children. We want them to be, and they're human beings. They don't have to Sleep with somebody of a different color to make me happy. Sleep with whoever you want. Don't send me pictures of it, bro. That's all. Don't send me pictures of it. I don't want to know. So these, right? Another way to demonize people. Another way to demonize people. Now, I guess I'm okay with a country securing its borders, especially with our track record of interfering with other people's and the things we have done to those other people, right? We have good reason to believe that there are people that want to do us harm because of the history of the United States government and their foreign policy. So, yeah, we should, but that, Obama, by the numbers, evidently, if the numbers are real, was deporting more people than Trump. We didn't see this mayhem on the street. We didn't see everybody demonizing brown people. You don't have to terrorize people. You have to secure the people that broke the law and leave everyone else the hell alone. We could do it a better way, but there's no profit in that. A lot of the reason I believe the country was flooded. Hello, Hannah. Shout out to you. Thanks for stopping by. The reason that we saw our borders loosened up, there was, okay, so Bill Gates in 2013 talking about the world population and how there's too many people, and that if they did a really good job with healthcare, reproductive healthcare, and vaccination, they could lower the world population 10 to 15%. So that program was in place longer than Bill Gates spoke about it. And population started to decline. And then the men that make the money, the men that issue the currency, did the math, ran the numbers, and said, in so many years, you're not going to be able to pay me. So we flooded the country with more people that breed faster than most white people, because those are people that could pay taxes. They want you to think that they're here to steal your vote. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Not at all. No, not at all. Not at all. I don't see that if I'm in a country illegally, that I'm going to try to go to a polling place and act like I'm supposed to be there. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. You killed us off. The people with the money didn't like that. So you filled us up with more people than we can afford to have. And you've demonized the whole planet, and there's people in stress all over the world, and they came here because we said we're the best. And that's not the case. It is not the case. It's not. I'm sorry. Okay. Now, something else I wanted to talk about. This just popped up on Facebook earlier today, and it's recently Trump reclassified marijuana, right? Everybody's clapping their hands. No. That's just to make it easier for the corporations to synthesize the chemicals in the cannabis and manipulate the system. That's all it is. Free it up enough that people can have good access, study. In a few years, you'll have a pill. You won't have to grow anything. Ah, don't bother with manicuring those plants. Just take this pill. It's the same thing. That's why he did it. Now, listen to what he just did. Trump pardons NFL player who trafficked 175 pounds of pot. Everybody's clapping. The sheep are happy. Boy, Trump let him go. That's the right thing. Nobody should be in jail for a plant. I agree with that. Matter of fact, I'm going to smoke me some after this show if I wait that long. Anyway, well, that's great and all. But why? What about the rest of us? What about the thousands and thousands of people Are they going to get pardons too? Why is it that NFL player, oh, they get paid millions? Did they buy any of Trump's crypto? Seems like Saudi Arabia and others have. Of course, we can't prove anything, right? Right, right. It's all bullshit. It's all absolute bullshit. Interesting fact. All right. Some other things that tell me that it's so far down the line that if we don't all come together and act, that it's just this opiate epidemic, big pharma. And it points to my reasoning that we should be outlawing corporations. Big pharmaceuticals lie about opiate addiction. I'm a carpenter. I suffer with back pain. I use kratom and cannabis plants. I don't take pills. I hurt in every joint. My back burns. If I happen to run out of kratom and don't have it for a day, my back will burn. If I stress it, it hurts. I can take kratom as needed, very cheap compared to anything else, and the addiction isn't there. Now, the distillates to kratom, I will give a warning about. The concentration, stay away from those. Those have problems. Do your research, but I can tell you that I've used kratom for 7 years, and yeah, it's not like opiates. I'll leave it there. But so they lied about their pills, and all my friends, carpenters, people that hurt, they handed out fucking opiates like Skittles. Got everybody hooked. Now I know here locally, the doctors and the police teamed up because of the opiate crisis here in my tourist town at the Mount Washington Valley of New Hampshire. And they wanted to stop abuse. We had a lot of pill sales going on. We had a lot of pill addicts running around, and they wanted to stop that. So they started randomly testing people, and if the level wasn't right, they'd pull their prescription. And now we had a bunch of addicts that didn't have their pill. And if you've ever seen somebody go through opiate addiction, or maybe you've gone through it as well, I hope you're fighting it off, man. Power to you. Because I've seen my friends and they just shit themselves. The sweats, the anger, the tears, the outrage, that they can't do anything else. That was the same time the heroin came into town. Yeah. And they found out that heroin was more effective and it was actually cheaper than the pills. And so they started doing heroin. Yeah, they did. And that whole time, okay, then we sued once the heroin supply, which we were protecting in Afghanistan, was, the supply chain was worked out and there's plenty of heroin for everyone. Then they sued the corporation that was pushing the pills. They created different pills to get you off the opiates or maybe substitute the opiates or whatever the case. But there was plenty of heroin coming around. There was plenty of it. Long time. They find the big pharmaceutical company, and I forget the company, so I won't say. But the monies were only a portion of the profit. The fines, they went to drug rehab. Well, once somebody's addicted, all that money going into drug rehab, the net result of the benefit is next to nothing. Because addicts usually have to go into a rehab multiple times. And then there was some fine money. But again, it was only a portion of the profits. Everybody's hooked on heroin. And then we pulled out of Afghanistan. But when did we do that? Oh, at the same time, fentanyl had been on the street and the supply chain was in full effect. Now, agreeably, a lot of that is was coming over the border from Mexico, probably still is, because most of it wasn't coming in the backpacks of the immigrants that were coming here. It was being brought across the border by American citizens. That's right. That's right. American citizens were bringing this in to feed the addiction of American citizens. When are we going to take responsibility for that? We pulled the troops out of, we didn't need the heroin anymore. There's a new drug in town. And look at what's going on in our streets, people. Mix a few other things in with the fentanyl now. We got people with rotting flesh. That's right. The tranquilizer, forget the name of it. Some of you probably know. After 2 weeks of using xylazine, is it? Xylazine, I think. Mix it in with the fentanyl. Stay bent over for hours on the side of the street. Just fold it. The fentanyl fold, they call it. And then you do it for about 2 weeks. And one day when you finally wake up out of your stupor, some part of your flesh is rotting. These things are happening. Combination of 2 reasons. Because we don't hold ourselves accountable. We don't hold the politicians accountable. And we are being controlled by people that don't give a fuck about us. They only care about money. I want it for a minute, and I want to be clear that when I talk about religious things, I don't mean to demonize anybody. Not at all. I just want people to think, and I'm going to tell it like I see it. I see a lot of, especially on the right, that don't, I'll talk about the lefties in a minute. I can't even, but a lot of the old school conservatives or the MAGAs or whoever, they're always throwing Jesus out there. And they're picking and choosing. But Jesus flipped the tables of the money changers. Right? Right, he did. He did. How come we're not flipping any tables? How come the money changers are doing things like making our homes 20 times more expensive just in my lifetime? It goes on and on and on and on. I remember another point I'll bring up, the environment. Because I want to talk about the left for a minute. We're also demonizing the trans people. And although, again, I don't want to insult anybody, I'm at the same time disgusted by the idea of that and also sympathetic to it. Because in my opinion, with the things I know that have been put into our environment during my lifetime that we don't know about, that we've been lied about, toxins, waste, byproducts of manufacturing, other things, and then add that to the pharmaceuticals and understanding the brain, big chemical factory, and you're putting all these other chemicals in, and knowing that life changes, DNA changes because of environmental reasons. I think that this transgender, it's mental, but it's not a reason to attack anybody. But we do have to really protect ourselves and do something about this. And this is going to be a hard one because you can't attack people. You got to have compassion. But a lot of these transgender people are associated with a lot of brutal killings. They're snapping, right? If that's not happening, then that's another thing they're lying to us about. But it seems to me like there is a connection between the drugs in the killings and the transgender movement in the killings. And the, yeah, when I look at the left, I just can't even. I mean, I'm not saying the back and forth though. We got to do away with it. I'll say it again. George Washington warned about a two-party system. There should not be parties. Okay, there should not be parties. There are only problems and solutions. People that create problems and people that bring solutions. That's it. We should be electing people, good people, honest people, the same that have lived their lives to the same standard that Jesus put out, right? That's your book. You want to say what Jesus said about this or that, but you don't want to talk about the rest of it. We're putting criminals, all of them, every one of them. My solution? Short ropes and tall trees on a day with a cool breeze so that the bastards swing a little bit and the stench doesn't build up. We have not held these people accountable. We have not. And it's disgusting. And we're way far down the line, folks. And I know a lot of this stuff is heavy, 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 heavy. And it's the reason why a lot of us become complacent. And sometimes you think you're alone. I got to that point of like, I'm the only one. And I can't keep spending all these hours and time to save something that is bound to fail. I've got to secure my future and make sure that me and mine have what we need, which is almost impossible. But just before I came on live today, I was watching YouTube channel Cheap Off Grid Living. Shout out to him. And he had gathered some clips, and I was encouraged because at least there are some people feeling it and speaking it. And I want you guys to know that we're not alone. You're not alone. And it was a good reminder to me that I am not alone. We're going to listen here real quick to a few things that are said in his video. And if you like off grid stuff, which I do, I live off grid. We're under battery lights. By the way, if that light goes out, don't get scared. There's a backup one ready to go. But everything here is run by battery right now. So here, let's listen in on this.
My friends anymore. I can barely even speak to my own family. I miss the days when I didn't know all this. Being awake or aware is a really lonely road because you can't see eye to eye with anybody anymore. And you can't go back down and pretend like you don't see it anymore. So you can end up feeling like the bad guy if you try to tell people the truth and they either don't want to see it or can't see it. So you start noticing that you're apologizing a lot in your life because sometimes the conversations can get a little out of hand, and people that you love or people that you respect or care about just cannot see it no matter what, because maybe their pride or maybe whatever it is. And I've gotten to the point where I can't talk to any of my friends anymore. I can barely even speak to my own family because everybody's still just blind to what's going on. And then when I talk about any of it, I'm crazy. Like, I'm trying to explain to my sister how some of the stuff that she's letting my niece, her daughter, listen to is terrible. And they're like, oh, well, it's the edited version. It doesn't matter, as even if the word is taken out of it, the rest of it is still there. The meaning of it is still there. The doctrination is still in the song. And when I pointed out, I'm a nutcase. I'm losing my mind. I am on TikTok too much. That's what they say. But then 5 minutes later, they'll be spewing some shit that came from the news that's completely misinformation, such that you can easily figure it out yourself within 5 to 10 minutes of just actually doing a deep dive research. But
all right, we got one more clip here, guys. This lady really touched my heart. Listen to her.
They are not coming back. We have two choices in this moment, because I think even the most deeply asleep among us, in your heart of hearts, you know what we thought we were going to, that future is absolutely gone. So what are we going to do about it? We can sit here quietly and let this play out. Are we going to stand up and try to salvage something for our children and our children's children? I have a brand new granddaughter. She was born last month. And I will not be silent in this moment, because I don't know what her future is going to look like, but I know what it will look like if I stay quiet. And that I cannot do. Bravery is not the absence of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's doing what has to be done, even if your voice shakes, even if you're so scared you're not sure you can move one foot in front of the other. It is time to realize we do not have the life we had before, and it's not coming back.
That lady really touched me, especially when she mentioned her grandchildren. I think that's part of my return to this fight. So, a lot of heavy stuff I've sent you guys' way, but that's what it is. That's where we are. I want to thank everybody for coming and checking out the live show. I will be doing more. We're going to wrap up with one other song on our way out here. But first, I just want to tell you what's going on in my world. So, after 2025 kicked my ass at the start of it, I sold the truck I had so that I had a more fuel efficient vehicle to do the work that I do. I do gig app delivery, and what that does, I live very humbly off grid here at my parents' place. My priority is to help them when they need things, and a lot of that is out of town driving for doctor's appointments. Needed a more fuel efficient car. That car turned out to be a piece of shit. Over the course of the year, with constant breakdowns and time out of work and money spent, I ended up, by the end of the year, just eating canned food and having to raise some donations just to keep heat on. And so I had, over a year ago, started working on my credit. I had not used credit in 15 years. Yeah, I'm opposed to that system. Again, I'm also in a position where sometimes you have to do things you'd rather not have to meet your goals. So I started a credit builder app. I got a legitimate checking and savings account with a local credit union, and I have got my credit score up about 25 points higher than when I first started the credit builder app. That will end in April, and I expect another jump. I was able to secure a loan for another car just a week ago through my credit union, who has a special 13% loan up to $2,000. They will loan their customers who have been there for more than 6 months. Shout out to Lighthouse. So I bought this sweet car from a local guy who used to be, had a shop here for 30 years. I can't say for sure he didn't tell me about the leaking gas lines, but the gas lines are leaking, and I took it to the mechanic yesterday, and I was going to try to limp it by until they could get it in and try to do some deliveries, even though I don't like the idea of spewing fuel. I have a loan payment now that I have to come up with. It's still winter. In 4 days, I need to get propane. My work pays my bills if I work. But as of today, the car is in the yard, not safe to drive, and I need a little less than $200 in parts, and I know how to fix it myself, and there is no money. So if you guys can help, if you can pitch in, there are links below to PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. I really need just another little boost. Some of you donated a month ago to get me through the end until I could get that loan. You guys are rock stars. I think like $300 was donated, and it was just enough, man. And that's all. I'm not asking for. I'm not going to be monetizing this channel, but I am going to try to bring things to you that are a balance of the things we're talking about tonight, more current events going forward, but also travel, because those grandbabies, as soon as my car is safe and I know that mom and dad are all set, I planned on leaving here and working my way. That's the advantage with these gig apps. I can work in basically any state in the United States. So I can work on my way and fund my own trip and get video of these beautiful places, because the one thing I didn't do in my activism before was give the people that followed me constantly reminders that there is still so much beautiful. There is so much worth fighting for. That's what this channel was going to focus on. It has changed since I started it not long ago. I can't give up the fight to secure my grandchildren's future or to protect my community. I that's I tried, it didn't work. There's not a lot that I failed at in my life if I set my mind to it. But I wasn't bringing the beautiful things, and for myself and for those, I remember people, oh, you're always so negative. Well, things are negative, man. We're getting our asses kicked here. I mean, I can't, but you have to have balance in everything you do. And so, yeah, anyway, links below. If you can help, I really would appreciate it. I got 4 or 5 days. If I can get this fixed in the 5 days, I'll be flying. I can get the bills paid on time. And yeah, that's it. It's not a lot, but it's more than I have. And I appreciate anything you guys can do. I also appreciate those of you that hung out through the end of this video. If you're seeing this in the replay, thanks for stopping by the channel. Subscribe, like, share this with a friend. I'll bring it to you real. I know the stream and the ambiance is a little rough. I'm a no frills kind of guy. I just need things to work. And where I live off grid on my parents' property, I don't. Everything is charged up with batteries from my toolkit. I have a USB adapter. I keep my speaker charged, all my devices charged. I have a nice laptop, but that only gives me a little bit, maybe an hour or two at the most with broadcasting software going and all the other things. And I'm working wireless. The antenna is over 300 feet away from me. And so sometimes there's a connectivity issue. This is the best way for me right now, but I will put effort in the future to learn more techniques with the laptop, so that I can screen share and show you guys facts and that kind of stuff. But for now, this is what you're going to get. I hope you appreciate real and raw. And again, I'm going to close this out now with one more song that you just got to know. And I'm going to put this at the end because I'm not sure if it's copyright or not. Maybe I'll have to clip it out, whatever the case. But this is Chronic Vibe. This, again, from 15 years ago. There's songs that just really touch on everything that's really going on and might make you seem crazy. Much love, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Like, subscribe. We'll see you all soon. On my channel, I did rejoin X. I don't know how Elon's going to let this account stay, but if you're on X, you can find me there. And Kevin One Fool on Twitter, X, whatever the hell it is. Anyway, Let's get on with the tune. Out of here with the show. Much love. Many thanks, guys. This is Chronic Vibe. I knew I was right.
Have you ever seen any of your victims? Victims? Be melodramatic. Down there. Would you really feel any pity for others?
The fucking rhinos, a gift.
If I offered you £20,000 for every dog that stopped, would you really, old man, tell me to keep my money? Would you calculate how many dots you could afford to spend? Free of income tax. Free of income tax. I'm not going to save money.
It's like my whole life, I knew I was right. Lost in the struggle of the world powers huddled in a dark, dim room. Planning the planet's doom, playing the puppet masters, viewing life like a cartoon. No Bugs Bunny, only bug phones. Keep a close watch on the lives they own. Made money causing sadness, addicted to the habits. Television giving, go ahead, let them have it. Reach, you can't grab it. Teachers just back it, had it. Gonna take a grab at this madness. I knew I was right, got it locked in my sight. And the freaks ain't the only things that come out at night. Yeah, the GPS or cell phones could turn them on. They own the technology and build the bombs. Own a gun factory and keep soldiers at arms. Supply the world with warfare and prepare the bombs. They watch where you sleep, they control what you eat, and they're cloning your meat. I knew I was right, they hurts like sheep. Watch them walk down the streets, they control the TVs. I knew I was right, let you know what they choose. Keep you on to their news, and they're hooked on the blues. I knew I was right, they're holding the key, and they hurts like sheep. Big brothers, little Bo Peep. I knew I was right. Corrupted corporate cameras and corners and government and disorders infected with our borders like sheep to keep us in order. And every time I make a dollar, they want to take a quarter. I'm not cheap or a hoarder or a war supporter. Try to be there for my daughter, tell her garbage kills wheels and water. It's a shame apes get slaughtered, the truth hurts. Yeah, but at least it's the truth. While they tell your lies loose, I'm really real to the youth. So pass the news, cause religion is a spoof. Must sound kinda crazy coming from a padded booth. Against the grain, I can't complain. I never fit inside a box, that'd be insane. You say you need a way out, man, I'm feeling the same. I'm working 7 to 3:30, man, I'm feeling your pain. And all the while, I'm just a paycheck for the government's gain. And when you really need help, they let you sleep in the rain, and that's real. They own the cops and the military clocks, control trains and docks. I knew I was right. They're bringing the drugs and they blame it on thugs. Listening on the bugs, I knew I was right. They're scared of our art, cause we rip them apart and we speak from the heart. I knew I was right. They let you eat cake and they take and they take. It's like they want you to break. I knew I was right. They can lash out, drink and pass out. Wake up interrogated with a gun in your mouth. Said his big brother's house looks like nobody's home. He watched from underground and works on creating the clones. A restricted zone, area 51. The eyes in the skies disguised as anyone of our own. In our homes, our houses, the house drones. In a rap race, we getting work to the bone. Said I've always known, I knew I was right. So the thought can't be bought and the truth is in sight. The wisdom listens and the knowledge speaks. So I speak after listening to rebels and those free. Those who opposed and closed in on the man. Believed in the power of yes I can. Not no I'm not, never knocked down. No bowing to kings, uncover cover-ups. Said I knew I was right. To give you the credit and to keep you in debt. Said I get cigarettes. I knew I was right. To distract with news, own the blues. You snooze, you lose. I knew I was right. They give you your ends and they act like your friends, but it's all pretend. I knew I was right. They keep us all apart. Driving the comfy cars, created AIDS and SARS. I knew I was right. I knew it, man. You can tell. Knew I was right. Gotta be someone sitting up in that building watching us like we was rats in the maze. No, we don't like to sick of it. They own the money. Control what you do.
Fuck that on air light.
We're all just slaves, man. Bunch of slaves. Wake the fuck up. There's no way that we about to give it. I'm down with this, man. Try to run the machine, but I knew I was right.
Much love, everyone. Much love. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.